And we're back. You're watching continuing coverage of the World Healthcare Congress here in Washington, D.C. Thanks so much for joining us, and a very special welcome to those of you who are joining us online. We are so pleased to have in the studio right now Frank Wilson, who is Administrator, Oklahoma Employees Group Insurance Department, based in Oklahoma City. Frank, thank you so much for being here today.
Certainly, thanks for having me.
Well, your bundled payment model is considered a pretty aggressive one. Can you tell me what that looks like?
Certainly. It is a very aggressive approach to the bundle payment strategies that are becoming more commonplace. And some of the things that we wanted to incorporate initially really take advantage of that bundled strategy whereby providers agree to one bundled payment price for all services within a particular encounter, and it's a prospective bundled payment system whereby providers agree to that price, and members enjoy the benefits by having all of their out-of-pocket costs waived if they have their services performed by one of these particular providers. So we have very high hopes for some fairly substantial savings with this program.
What are some of the key components that are fairly unique that might be very interesting to states and to ones in other states?
Again, I think what makes this particular approach most unique is that, as I mentioned, it is what is, I think, termed or considered in the industry a prospective bundle payment model, whereby most bundle payment models involve setting a bundled benchmark, if you will, that is established, that traditional payments that are made to providers are compared to those bundled benchmarks on a retrospective basis, and then payments are adjusted accordingly, or trued up, if you will, at the end of a given period. With this model, again, it's an approach where the bundled price is established up front. The provider agrees to that bundled price for that set of services, and that is the price. It's a very transparent process whereby the provider knows what they're going to get paid for a set of services. And that bundled payment will include the facility fee, surgeon fee, anesthesiology, and any lab associated with that particular encounter on that day. And it's a pretty unique approach from what we understand to what is considered probably traditional bundle payment strategy. The other component that really makes this approach unique is that we've already done all of the shopping for the patient. The patient is not exposed to any out-of-pocket costs if they use a provider that is participating in this program. So while there's a heavy emphasis these days on engaging healthcare consumers and providing them with the tools to actually shop for more efficient or lower cost providers, we've already done that for them. This program has identified those providers with comparable quality and lower costs. They've already agreed to those lower upfront bundle prices. So we've taken all of that work out of the members' hands and done that shopping for them, and essentially waive all of their out-of-pocket costs if they utilize one of these providers. But because the prices are so much better, the health plan saves substantial dollars.
Sure, it sounds like it.
For those members that utilize those providers.
But what are some of the challenges with administering such a plan?
Sure. Probably first and foremost is measuring savings, simply because the infrastructure and the codes associated with bundle payment pricing are very different than traditional healthcare cost payment codes. So comparing the new codes under the bundle payment model, which are not industry standard, to traditional healthcare data is quite the challenge for our analytics folks.
Sure.
And then some of the other challenges, as you might imagine, is establishing those bundles initially with providers, working with providers to research and see which services best fit that model of the bundle payment approach. And then lastly, actually processing claims. As we receive those claims from these types of providers, the process of essentially unbundling those claims and bills from providers and processing them within the system is probably a considerable more amount of manual intervention than what is typical in your typical claims processing system. So it's not without its challenges, that's for sure. And the program is evolving as we go on. It's very new, but we're working with many of our key providers to kind of smooth out some of those administrative issues. And we hope to make significant progress on that this year, in fact. It's a very large program. We have over 200,000 public employees and their dependents for which we're administering this program. But for it to grow and be sustainable, it has to have a heavy element of automation.
Yes.
Which is becoming more and more commonplace in the industry. So we have to get away from that manual intervention that is necessary currently to administer these types of claims. That's certainly taking a lot of our time and effort right now.
Well, we certainly appreciate you sharing the example of what's going on in Oklahoma. We hope that you'll join us again next year. How has your experience been with the World Healthcare Congress?
Fantastic. So many folks from very different parts of the health system. It's interesting to get different perspectives on this approach and learn about a lot of other new and innovative things that people are trying with great success. So it's a fun time to be in this industry for sure.
Good. Frank, thank you so much for your time.
Certainly. Thank you.
And I'm Mabel Zhang. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.